Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is Pure Wrestling. On today's show I'm bringing you a review of the A show, and it is NXT. Now I'm going to basically go over the show like I do with all my other reviews, tell you guys what happened, give you a few thoughts on and my opinions on certain things, and basically I'm just gonna just pretty much do that. So basically enjoy this. If you do enjoy this, please smash the thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts on NXT this week. If you haven't seen my videos this week, go ahead and check the description, there'll be links down there, and also click on the channel. You can basically go and see all my videos on there. Please subscribe if you are new here to This Is Pure Wrestling. This is the place to be for some awesome wrestling content. Lot of things coming to this channel. I see we're gaining subscribers day in and day out, and views are going up massively. I thank everybody supporting this channel. Don't forget to join the subscription squad by hitting that bell. That is a crucial thing. And basically I'm going to go into what happened on NXT. I think NXT this week was a very good show. If I'm honest, it's hard to pick out of 205 and NXT every week. SmackDown Live is pretty close, rivaling these, but I'm just really loving the storytelling and the matches that NXT and 205 Live are bringing week in and week out. Basically we started off the show. Gargano and Ciampa unsanctioned match at NXT TAKEOVER is announced for an NXT TAKEOVER coming up. That is going to be a great match. But also guys, before I go into this, if you are interested in seeing the official match card for NXT TAKEOVER, if you haven't seen the spoilers or nothing and you want to check out the match card coming up, check in the link in the description down below. There'll be an NXT TAKEOVER match card video where I give you guys all the matches that are coming up and my thoughts on it. So if you're interested in that, check the link in the description or on the channel, as I always say. But basically it started off with Regal being confronted by Ciampa. He's basically screwing that Johnny Gargano's been coming to his house and stuff like that. It's a really good segment. Basically Ciampa is just like one of the best heels you're going to get. He's literally done everything he did to just purely gain heel heat, and it's just great. All over social media, he's just literally a great heel. Now, he's basically outside the arena as well, talking to Regal, might I add, and he's just completely ripping off Johnny Gargano. And Regal announces that basically, if Johnny wins, he gets his career back in NXT. If he loses, he's banished from NXT forever. Now, this is a pretty unpredictable situation, and I'm going to explain why. The reasons why is because Johnny could even lose, and the reasons why is because if Johnny loses, he could go to the main roster. That's a storyline they could do. But if he wins, he goes back to NXT and he may get a title run. We don't know what's going to happen. That is what's so fun about the booking in this situation. Even Ciampa could be going up to the main roster. We don't know. This massive heel turn could be a big thing for Ciampa. So we don't know what's going on, and it's really cool watching NXT week in and week out, because they just do things that no other brand does. This is the A show for me, and that's why I keep saying it's the A show for a reason. Basically, next we had a Regal promo backstage, I think it was, and he announces the it was in the ring, sorry. He announces the North American Championship, the mid-card title, coming to NXT TAKEOVER. This is just going to be a great takeover. I am super excited. Now he compares it to the UK title, because the UK title with Pete Dunne has been brought around NXT, and he wants to do the same with this, and he wants to make it big. That is big things, and I love William Regal, I must admit. The big thing here, guys, is EC3 comes out very cocky, very heely. Well, I think it's a sort of down the middle gimmick. He's cheered, he's loved, but he's a proper heel. I just really love his gimmick. He come out all cocky, and he's basically got something to prove, you can tell. He wants to prove, and you could tell in his promo. His promo was excellent, I must admit. The crowd chant, "You deserve it," and very cockily he says, "Of course I deserve it," on the microphone. Very cocky. I loved it. I just think he's very different compared to other people, and the crowd's chanting NX3, not NXT. EC3 basically cut a promo saying he wants a new title. He wants to be given the new title. He deserves it. Regal says he's happy EC3 is here, but no one is handed anything. It's always earned. He said at NXT TAKEOVER there's going to be a ladder match. and he's going to be against 5 other competitors. We find out through the show who these competitors are. As I go along, I'll tell you guys if you haven't already heard. Also, the crowd chants "Thank you, Regal," because this is a massive thing, a ladder match at NXT TakeOver. This is going to be a massive match I'm looking forward to, especially with the competitors they've added. EC3 says he wants to prove to Regal and the NXT fans he is the top 1%. Now, obviously, this 1% obviously comes over from TNA. This is one of his things that he talks about. I'm glad that they sort of continued that, to be honest, because this is obviously EC3, and he's pretty much known for what he did in TNA. One thing that next came up was the recap on the Dusty Rhodes tournament. Now, I'm very pleased with that they've been doing this week in and week out, showing you the recaps and stuff like that. I love Charlie Caruso's recaps. I just think they're a big thing, and it shows how professional they're being. TM61 backstage saying they mentioned they need a change of character. They're gutted, obviously, with their elimination from the Authors of Pain. Quickly, the cameraman's talking to them, rushes out, he hears noise. It is Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler having a brawl and a fight. It looks really serious, really heated, doing very well with the booking. Even though they're not on the show, they're booking it so well, getting everybody interested, hopefully, because I'm really interested in this. This is showing that obviously the tensions are very high. That's the one thing I put down in my notes. The first match on the show we actually have, because this is pretty much all promo so far, we have Street Profits versus Authors of Pain in the Dusty Rhodes tournament, obviously trying to get to the final. Authors of Pain are just too good. They just, obviously, it was all about Paul Ellering outside, and Montez Ford is completely distracted by the fact that he smashed the cup out of his hand. Paul Ellering, he didn't want to drink it. Basically, they win with the last chapter, and this basically just destroyed, I can't remember the other guy's name. You got Montez Ford and the other guy in the tag team. It's really bad, I can't remember. But it completely got destroyed. It was 1, 2, 3 with the last chapter. That is pretty much all that happened in this match. You could just tell that Montez Ford at the end was giving that look to his partner, as if to say, like, I'm getting peed off, basically, pissed off that he didn't win the match. They look gutted, and obviously they go out. Authors of Pain go into the final next week on NXT. Who will they face? We will obviously find that out coming up in the next couple of scenes I'm talking about. There's another backstage. I must say, Regal was in this a lot. I love Regal, and he was in this pretty much 3/4 of the show. He was obviously announcing people who was going to be in that ladder match, which was very good. Regal backstage announces Adam Cole will be the other person in the ladder match. Velveteen Dream shows up and says he wants to be in a match. Regal accepts. EC3, Cole, and also Velveteen Dream are announced for the ladder match going into this. Next, we have the Beast himself, Lars Sullivan. I really, really hope, guys, that Braun Strowman's tag partner is Lars Sullivan. I just really do believe they would just be so good, because he mentions in his promos as well about his hands and stuff like that. And he does a power slam like him, he's fast, he's strong like him. I just think they'd just be destined to be together, or even in a feud. But what a beast. He completely destroys this job. I can't remember the jobber's name. He uses his finisher, the freak accident, after he very quickly does the diving headbutt. He don't just do a normal diving headbutt. You can see the power in it. He's just a pure beast. This guy is literally everything. And NXT have got themselves someone really good. And it wouldn't surprise me if he comes up after WrestleMania or around WrestleMania, because this guy is massively thought high of. You can tell backstage. Again, as I said, Regal backstage. And basically he's talking, and Lars Sullivan comes up, and he wants to be added to the ladder match. Lars is happy and promises he will bring destruction to TakeOver, not just with his hands, again it's mentioned his hands, but with the ladder too. Regal announces that Dane is also in the match too, and next week Lars will go one-on-one with Killian Dane on NXT. Another great match. Obviously there was some confrontation before with Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane. If I remember rightly, it was in that 4-way with Gargano and Aleister Black. I think there was a face-off, obviously with strength and stuff, and it took obviously Lars out. Next up, we have Dakota Kai coming out. Basically, again, it sort of seems like they're just using her for a pop. It really does. And then the cameras rush backstage. You don't even see Dakota Kai in this whole thing. You just see her come out to the ring. It rushes backstage, and Andrade is attacking Aleister Black. Throughout the show, they was basically showing the car park saying, we're expecting Aleister Black, we're expecting Andrade to show up. But basically Andrade completely destroyed Aleister Black, who's smashing him into stuff, bringing him into, he was outside, bringing him into the ring, and basically got a chair, smashed him over the back with it, and he completely destroyed. I'm telling you, he was just dominating. This was really good seeing Andrade like this. He holds the title high over Black and shouting, respect the best. Now, this was a very good scene, I must admit, and it definitely shows how good Andrade can be and how dominant he can be. I'm just worried about if he does get called up to the main roster, is Zelina Vega going to come with him? I don't know. I hope so, because that is a big thing, especially with his promos. You can't sometimes understand him where he's talking his own language, and he needs Zelina Vega to talk the English for him sometimes. Pretty much after he said that and held the title over Aleister Black, Andrade leaves, and the refs and medic rush in to check on Aleister. Andrade basically standing there at the entrance ramp, and the crowd's chanting Aleister Black, or Aleister should I say. This was just a beast scene, and definitely made me more excited for the NXT Championship match, because there's a lot of other matches on here that I'm super excited for. Next up we have Sanity versus Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Obviously this is the other qualifier going into the final. I gotta say, I just fucking love Pete Dunne. That's the one thing. I love Pete Dunne. Coming from the UK, this guy, he reminds me of a Finlay or a William Regal type character, and he's just so good. The crowd loves him. He's just a pure heel, and he's just unbelievable. I just think he's so good at the age he is as well. Really, really good. But anyway, Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong win this match, going into the final against Authors of Pain, which will be next week on NXT as well as obviously the Killian Dane match with Lars Sullivan. Really good looking to next. After beating Sanity, basically, it's a great match. Got to see more teamwork from Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong in this match. Their team finisher, it looked awesome, really, really good. It was like some backbreaker that turned into Pete Dunne's finisher. It was like just really nice. I really did enjoy it, and I was like, wow, like that is just excellent. We needed to see that going into the final, especially. We need to see a little bit more in the final as well. But I'm super excited to see next week's show so far, and basically the end of the show we have Regal backstage, and he comes out the door. He's been obviously Charlie Caruso. Oh, not Charlie Caruso. I can't remember the other bird's name. She knocks on the door, and he says, "Oh, I'll go and get the final contestant for you," because she's asking who the final one is. And he goes, "I'll go and get him for you." He comes out, and it is King Ricochet himself. Ricochet is the last man in the ladder match. Ricochet shows up, and the crowd is chanting Ricochet, Ricochet, going completely crazy. And all he said was, "See you at TAKEOVER," and it ended pretty much there. Literally, I'm super excited for this ladder match. You've got the likes of Adam Cole, you've got the likes of Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, Velveteen Dream, obviously now Ricochet in that match with EC3. Now this is just going to be completely insane. A ladder match at NXT, obviously with the likes of Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. You have Aleister Black versus Andrade. You have the tag team match, which is going to be announced next week. Who's going to be going against that? If you're interested, as I said, I already know. There's a match card, link in the description or on the channel for NXT TakeOver coming up. I'm super excited. This was a great NXT show. Really did enjoy it. The booking, the storylines are all working well. I just really love this NXT show, and I think it is the A show, and there's just nobody stopping it. I just really do believe it. And even when they lose people, they just gain momentum and gain people, and it just looks great. Like, you can take out Andrade, you can take out Ember Moon, and all these big names, Sanity, Authors of Pain, and they just still got the roster for it, and they're just so great. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much the review results for NXT show last night. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts on NXT. Don't forget to check out my other videos. Basically share the video around, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join the notification squad on This Is Pure Wrestling. Don't forget, tomorrow I'll have a couple of uploads for you and around the weekend. Stay tuned. I'll see you next time on This Is Pure Wrestling.